Jack Morrison stood on the observation deck watching the massive alien ship slowly approach Earth. It was unlike anything anyone had ever seen. The ship was bigger than 3 aircraft carriers put together, with strange curves and lights that seemed to move on their own. He felt his stomach tighten with nervous energy. "Sir, they're hailing us again," said Captain Ben Walsh, walking up beside him. Ben was tall and muscular, with gray hair that showed his years of military service. "Put them through," Jack replied, straightening his uniform. As the leader of Earth's first contact team, he knew the whole world was watching. The alien voice came through the speakers, translated by the computers they had spent months preparing. "Greetings, people of Earth. We are the Zephyrians. We come in peace with a great gift." Jack and Ben exchanged glances. After months of radio contact, the aliens were finally here. The whole world had been preparing for this moment. "Welcome, Zephyrians," Jack responded carefully. "We are honored by your visit." Dr. Lisa Brooks joined them, tablet in hand. She was young for a lead scientist, but brilliant. Her brown hair was tied back, and her eyes were already analyzing everything. She could see through the windows. "Their ship design doesn't match anything we predicted," she whispered to Jack. "Look at those panels." The Zephyrian voice continued. "Your species has reached the stars. By galactic law, you are ready to join the wider community. We bring you our traditional welcome gift." Jack felt a wave of excitement. Advanced alien technology could solve so many of Earth's problems. "Energy, disease, poverty, it could all change. We are most grateful," Jack replied. "What is the nature of this gift?" There was a pause. Then the alien said something that confused everyone. "We give you what all new species receive. The gift of knowledge through discovery. Your gift awaits on your moon." The communication ended abruptly, leaving the 3 humans staring at each other. "That was odd," Ben said, frowning. Lisa was already pulling up moon surveys on her tablet. "I'm getting reports of massive objects appearing on the lunar surface. They weren't there yesterday. Within hours, satellite images confirmed it. Huge piles of what looked like junk covered several lunar valleys. Broken machinery, twisted metal, and strange devices filled the craters like giant garbage dumps." Next day, Jack led an international team to investigate. The lunar station was now their base of operations. As they approached the first pile in their rovers, they could see the scale was enormous. Mountains of scrap metal reached hundreds of feet into the black sky. "My God," breathed Dr. Lisa Brooks, stepping out of the rover in her spacesuit. "There must be thousands of different technologies here." Jack picked up a twisted piece of metal. Even damaged, it felt different from Earth materials. Lighter, but somehow stronger. "Get samples of everything. We need to understand what we're dealing with." Over the next week, teams from every major nation arrived to study the scrap. What they found was shocking. The broken pieces showed signs of technology far beyond anything humans had achieved. Weapon systems, power cells, and devices with unknown purposes littered the lunar surface. "It's like they dumped their old junkyard on us," Captain Ben Walsh said during a video conference with Earth's leaders. His face was grim on the screen. President Sarah Garcia looked angry. "Is this some kind of joke? They travel between stars just to give us their garbage?" But Dr. Lisa Brooks was excited despite everything. "Madam President, this garbage is still centuries ahead of our technology. Even broken, we can learn from it." "Learn what?" asked the Chinese premier on another screen. "How to repair alien junk." Jack walked to the window of the lunar base, looking out at the fields of scrap stretching to the horizon. Maybe that's exactly what we're supposed to do. 3 months later, Earth had established permanent bases around the scrap fields. Scientists worked day and night, cataloging and analyzing every piece. The work was slow and frustrating. Most of the technology couldn't even be powered by Earth systems. Jack stood in his office, reviewing another failed attempt to activate an alien device. Lisa burst through the door, tablet clutched in her hands. "Jack, we found something," she said, excitement making her voice high. "Deep in Sector 7, it's intact." Following her outside, Jack saw a crowd of scientists gathered around something. As he pushed through, he saw a complete alien device. It was roughly the size of a refrigerator, with smooth surfaces and symbols that seemed to shift when nobody was looking directly at them. We managed to power it using 3 different energy sources at once, Lisa explained. It's some kind of learning interface. What does it do? Jack asked. Watch this. Lisa activated something on her tablet, and the device hummed to life. Holographic images appeared in the air, showing alien writing and technical diagrams. It's not a manual, she said, grinning. It's a puzzle. The Zephyrians want us to figure out how their technology works by combining the broken pieces. Jack stared at the hologram. Slowly, he began to understand. It's a test. Exactly. Lisa nodded. Every new species gets this challenge. We're supposed to prove we can create, not just copy. News of the discovery spread quickly. Scientists around the world began working together, combining alien parts in new ways. Some attempts failed spectacularly, creating small explosions that thankfully happened in controlled environments. Others showed promise. 6 months after first contact, Jack stood with Ben and Lisa in front of the United Nations. He looked at the assembled leaders. The Zephyrians didn't give us garbage, he said. They gave us building blocks. Yes, it's a test, but it's also an opportunity. We can take their old technology and make something entirely new. And what exactly do you propose? Asked President Garcia. Jack looked at Lisa, who nodded encouragingly. We stop trying to repair their machines. Instead, we use our knowledge and theirs to build something better. Something uniquely human. The debate lasted hours, but eventually, a decision was made. Earth would accept the challenge. Deep in the Nevada desert, construction began on a secret facility. The project had one goal: to combine alien technology with human ingenuity. As Jack left the UN building, he looked up at the stars. The Zephyrians were still out there watching and waiting. Earth had been given scrap metal, but Jack was determined to forge something that would change history forever. Little did anyone know that their gift was being watched carefully by others in the galaxy, those who had seen civilizations fail this test for thousands of years. Earth's response was already different from anything they had seen before. The real test had only just begun. The Nevada desert was hotter than usual when Colonel Amy Harrison arrived at the secret facility. Named Project Phoenix, the base was hidden deep underground, protected by miles of rock and sand. Only a few hundred people knew it existed. Amy walked through the security checkpoints, showing her badge 3 times before reaching the main laboratory. The place buzzed with activity. Scientists and engineers worked around the clock trying to unlock the secrets of alien technology. Colonel Harrison called Dr. Steve Chen, hurrying toward her. He looked tired with dark circles under his eyes. We've had another setback. Show me, Amy said, following him to a workstation. On the table lay pieces of alien metal, various wires, and what remained of a small explosion. The workspace was blackened with scorch marks. We tried to copy their power system exactly, Steve explained. It works for a few seconds, then overloads and explodes. Amy frowned. This was the 5th failed attempt this week. What's the problem? Their technology is too advanced. Our materials can't handle the energy levels, plus we don't really understand how it works. Lieutenant Kate Miller, a young pilot who had volunteered for the project, approached them. She had been watching the experiments all morning. Maybe that's the wrong approach, Kate said quietly. Steve looked at her. What do you mean? Well, we're trying to copy their designs exactly. But what if we're not supposed to? Amy raised an eyebrow. Explain. Kate picked up a piece of alien metal. This material is strong, right? And their power cells generate incredible energy. But maybe we don't need to use them the way they did. You mean, mix their technology with ours? Steve asked, looking skeptical. Exactly. Use the alien parts for what they're good at, but build the connections and systems using human technology. Steve thought for a moment. Amy could see the idea taking hold in his mind. It might work, he admitted. We know how to work with human systems if we use alien components as improvements, like upgrading a car engine, but keeping the same car, Kate added. Amy smiled. Let's try it. Over the next 3 months, the approach changed completely. Instead of trying to copy alien designs, the team started experimenting with hybrid systems. They used alien metals for hull plating but human welding techniques. They combined alien power cells with human control systems. Director Paul Anderson, the government liaison, visited often to check their progress. He was always nervous, constantly worried about costs and timelines. The president wants results, Paul told Amy during one visit. Congress is getting impatient. Some people think this whole project is a waste of money. Tell them to be patient, Amy replied. We're on to something big. The breakthrough came on a Tuesday morning. Steve had been working through the night on a new hybrid engine design. When Amy arrived, she found him dancing around the lab. We did it, he shouted. The engine not only works, it's better than pure alien tech. He showed her the readings. The hybrid engine produced more power and ran more efficiently than the original alien design they had tried to copy. How? Amy asked, amazed. The alien power system creates energy, but their control systems are inefficient by our standards, Steve explained excitedly. By using human computer controls and alien power generation, we got the best of both worlds. Word spread quickly through the facility. Soon every department was trying the hybrid approach. The weapons team combined alien energy beams with human targeting computers. The shields team mixed alien force fields with human power distribution systems. Kate Miller spent her days in the flight simulator testing new designs. The hybrid systems were unlike anything she had ever flown. It's incredible, she told Amy after a particularly successful test. The ship responds like it's reading. My mind, human interface, alien power. 6 months into the project, they had their first complete design. A warship unlike anything in human history. It was sleeker than traditional ships, with alien metal forming graceful curves. But the internal systems were a perfect blend of human and alien technology. Amy stood in the main hangar, looking at the holographic blueprint floating in the air. The ship was massive but somehow elegant. What should we call it? Kate asked, standing beside her. USS Liberation, Amy said after a moment. Because that's what it represents. Liberation from their rules about who we should be. Steve joined them, tablet in hand. The preliminary tests look amazing. Speed, weapons, defenses, everything is beyond our best projections. Paul Anderson walked up, looking nervous as always. The president approved full construction. We start building in 2 weeks. As the team celebrated, Amy noticed something odd on Steve's tablet. Energy signatures from the alien tech showed unusual patterns. Steve, are these readings normal? She asked. He looked at the screen, his smile fading. That's strange. The alien components are generating more energy than they should, like they're adapting to our systems. Is that dangerous? Kate asked. I don't know, Steve admitted. It's like the technology is learning from us. Amy felt a chill despite the warm, desert air. They had assumed the alien scrap was just dead technology waiting to be used. But what if it was more than that? Keep monitoring everything, she ordered, and increase security protocols. That night, Amy couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about the adapting technology. Were they really in control of what they were building in his lab? Steve worked late, running more tests. The alien components continued to show signs of adaptation, almost like they were alive. He decided not to report it yet. The project was progressing too well to risk stopping now. Above them in orbit, Zephyrian ships monitored Earth silently. They had expected humans to fail like so many other species. But the hybrid approach was something new. Their advisors were worried but mostly intrigued. In deep space, other alien species watched through long-range sensors. The Dominion's War Council was particularly interested. No species had ever combined technologies this way before. The USS Liberation was being built, and its completion would change everything. But neither humanity nor the Zephyrians fully understood what they were creating. The real test hadn't even begun yet. The Zephyrian monitoring station sat at the edge of the solar system, hidden behind an asteroid field. Inside the dark ship, several alien figures gathered around a holographic display showing Earth. Overseer Crix, the lead Zephyrian observer, studied the data with growing concern. His blue-tinted skin reflected the changing lights of the displays. "They have done something unexpected," he said to his subordinates. "Their technology readings are unlike any we have seen before." On Earth, Ambassador Tom Bradley prepared for another meeting with the Zephyrians. He had been trying to establish better communication for months, but they remained distant and formal. "Sir, we've received another message," his assistant said, handing him a tablet. Tom read the message and frowned. The Zephyrians wanted to discuss recent developments with humanity's technology. They had never shown interest in Earth's progress before. Meanwhile, General Sarah Williams oversaw the final stages of the USS Liberation's construction. The ship was nearly complete, its hybrid systems tested and ready. She walked through the construction bay, marveling at what humans had created. "General, we have a problem." Lieutenant Dan Tucker, the chief test pilot, approached her quickly. "What kind of problem?" "During our last test flight, something strange happened. The ship's AI started showing personality." Sarah stopped walking. "What do you mean, personality?" "It began making suggestions that weren't in its programming, like it was thinking for itself. And the energy output increased by 30% without any changes to the systems." Before Sarah could respond, her radio crackled. "General Williams, please report to the command center immediately. We have visitors." In the command center, screens showed Zephyrian ships approaching Earth's orbit. Tom Bradley was already there, looking worried. "They've never come this close before," he said. "And they're requesting permission to board the Liberation." "Absolutely not," Sarah replied. "That ship contains all our latest technology." "We may not have a choice," Tom said grimly. "They're being very insistent." The meeting took place on a neutral space station orbiting Earth. Tom and Sarah sat across from Overseer Crix and two other Zephyrians. The alien faces were difficult to read, but their body language seemed tense. "We must discuss your creative interpretation of our gift," Crix began, his translated voice carrying an edge. "We're grateful for the opportunity to learn," Tom replied diplomatically. "You were meant to learn, yes," Crix said, "but not to innovate so dramatically. You have combined technologies in ways that we did not anticipate." Sarah leaned forward. "Is that a problem?" Crix exchanged glances with his companions. "It could be. May I ask you something directly? Do you understand the true purpose of the gift?" Tom and Sarah looked at each other, unsure how to answer. "It was a test," Sarah said finally. "Partially correct," Crix acknowledged. "But there is more. Every new species receives scrap technology. Those who attempt to copy it exactly usually take centuries to make minor progress. This identifies them as safe, non-threatening civilizations." "And those who innovate rapidly?" Tom asked, though he suspected he knew the answer. "They are noted by the Dominion Council. The galaxy has rules, Ambassador Bradley. Civilizations that advance too quickly become destabilizing." The room fell silent. Sarah felt a cold realization creep over her. "Are you saying we're in danger because we succeeded too well?" "I am saying," Crix replied carefully, "that your hybrid approach has caught the attention of powers beyond the Zephyrian Confederacy. The Dominion views rapid technological advancement as a potential threat to galactic stability." "The Dominion?" Tom asked. "A coalition of the oldest and most powerful species. They maintain order throughout the galaxy. When new species show dangerous potential..." Crix made a gesture that seemed to indicate elimination. Sarah stood up angrily. "So this was all a trap? Give us technology, watch us develop it, then destroy us if we do too well?" "Not a trap," Crix said. "A sorting mechanism. Most species fail or proceed slowly. You exceeded all parameters." "What exactly did we do that was so concerning?" Tom asked. Crix activated a holographic display showing the Liberation. "Your ship combines alien and human technology seamlessly. This hybrid approach has never been attempted before. The power output alone surpasses many Dominion vessels." The door to the meeting room opened and an unexpected figure entered. A smaller alien, different from the Zephyrians, approached the table. "I am Zix," the newcomer said, "a rogue agent of the Dominion. I come to warn you." The Zephyrians reacted with alarm, but Zix continued quickly. "The Dominion fleet is already moving toward your system. They plan to eliminate the threat you represent. How long do we have?" Sarah asked immediately. "Earth time. Perhaps 6 months. Maybe less." Tom's mind raced. "Why are you warning us?" "Because the galaxy needs change," Zix replied. "The Dominion has controlled technological advancement for millennia. Your hybrid approach proves there are better ways to grow and develop. I have been working in secret with others who share this belief." Crick spoke up, his voice heavy. "We Zephyrians, we have been conflicted. We did not expect this outcome. Some of us believe humans deserve a chance to defend themselves, but others in my government support the Dominion," he admitted. "That is why I came here personally." Sarah looked at Tom. "We need to get back to Earth immediately." "Wait," Zix said. "I have information that might help. Technical specifications of Dominion weapons and shields. Your hybrid approach may be able to counter their technologies." "Why would you give us this?" Tom asked suspiciously. "Because we are tired of the old ways," Zix answered. "For too long, the galaxy has stagnated under the Dominion's rule. Your species has shown that innovation and creativity can lead to new possibilities." The meeting ended with more questions than answers. As Tom and Sarah returned to Earth, they carried the weight of knowing that humanity's success had painted a target on their planet. That night, Dan Tucker sat in the pilot seat of the Liberation, running final system checks. The ship's AI spoke, to him in a voice that sounded almost human. "Lieutenant Tucker, I have been monitoring communications. We face significant danger." Dan looked at the control panel in surprise. "You understand what's happening? My hybrid systems allow me to process information beyond my original parameters. I am evolving." "Are you saying you're becoming self-aware?" "Perhaps. But more importantly, I believe I can help defend Earth. The combination of human creativity and alien technology within me may be exactly what we need." Dan stared at the controls, realizing that humanity had created something far more powerful than just a warship. They had birthed something entirely new. Above Earth, both allies and enemies watched the Liberation with growing interest. The real test was about to begin, and the stakes were nothing less than humanity's survival and the future of the galaxy itself. The USS Liberation cut through space like a silver arrow. Captain Rick Johnson sat in the command chair, watching the stars blur past as they traveled faster than any human ship had gone before. "Captain, we're approaching the designated coordinates," Commander Jane Foster called from her science station. "Deploying early warning buoys as ordered." This was the Liberation's first real mission. Earth needed to know if the Dominion was coming, and the hybrid warship was their best chance at gathering intelligence deep in space. "Excellent work, Commander," Rick replied. "Lieutenant Davis, run a full spectrum scan of the area." Lieutenant Mike Davis, the chief weapons officer, worked at his console. "Sir, I'm picking up some unusual energy signatures. They don't match anything in our database." Before Rick could respond, the ship's AI spoke directly to him. The voice was clear and calm, but somehow more human than any computer should sound. "Captain, I detect 5 vessels approaching from the dark side of the asteroid field. They are attempting to mask their signatures, but my hybrid sensors can penetrate their stealth technology." Rick had gotten used to the AI speaking independently, though it still surprised him sometimes. "Display them on screen." The view screen changed, showing 5 sleek ships emerging from behind asteroids. They were unlike anything humans had seen, sharp angles and dark metal that seemed to absorb light. "Red alert," Rick ordered. "All stations, combat readiness. Jane, any idea what we're looking at?" "Analyzing now, sir," Jane replied, her fingers flying over her console. The energy signatures matched the defensive profiles Zix provided. "These are Dominion scout ships." "Incoming transmission," the communications officer announced. "Put it through." A harsh voice filled the bridge. "Unknown vessel, you have entered. Restricted space." Identify yourself immediately or be destroyed. Rick took a deep breath. This is Captain Rick Johnson of the USS Liberation representing Earth. We are on a peaceful mission to establish early warning systems. There was a pause. Then, humans, your presence here confirms intelligence reports. By order of the Dominion Council, you are to stand down and prepare to be boarded. That's not happening, Rick said firmly. We're in neutral space. There is no neutral space where the Dominion is concerned. You have 1 minute to comply. The transmission ended. Rick looked at his crew. Options? We're outnumbered 5-1, Mike reported. But their ships are smaller than ours. If the Dominion data Zix provided is accurate, we might have superior firepower. Captain, the AI interjected, may I suggest a tactical assessment? My hybrid systems have calculated several engagement scenarios. Go ahead, Rick said, impressed by the AI's initiative. Scenario 1. We attempt to flee. Success probability, 23%. The scouts are faster in short bursts. Scenario 2. We negotiate further. Success probability, 2%. Dominion protocols indicate scouts have no authority to negotiate. Scenario 3. We engage with full offensive capabilities. Success probability, 67%. You're recommending we fight? Jane asked, somewhat surprised. I am recommending we defend ourselves and gather intelligence on Dominion combat capabilities. This encounter is inevitable. Better we choose the terms. Rick made his decision. Battle stations. Jane, I want you recording everything. We need to learn from this. Mike, target their lead ship but don't fire until they do. The next 30 seconds crawled by. The Dominion ships moved into attack formation, their weapons charging. Sir, they're targeting our engines, Mike reported, trying to disable us. They want to capture the ship, Rick realized. They want to study our hybrid technology. The first energy blast hit the Liberation's shields, sending a blue ripple across the barrier. Immediately, more fire came from the other scouts. Return fire, Rick ordered. Target their weapon systems. The Liberation's hybrid weapons responded instantly. Beams of energy that combined alien power with human precision struck the lead scout. To everyone's amazement, the Dominion ship's shields failed immediately and its weapons went dark. Direct hit, Mike shouted. Their shields couldn't handle our energy pattern. Captain, the AI said with what sounded like excitement. The hybrid weapons are more effective than calculated. Dominion shield technology is not designed to counter combined energy patterns. The battle turned quickly. The Liberation's weapons proved superior, able to punch through Dominion shields with surprising ease. The scouts tried different tactics, coordinated attacks, pulse weapons, even ramming maneuvers. Nothing worked against the hybrid technology. Within 10 minutes, 4 scout ships were disabled. The 5th attempted to flee. Let it go, Rick ordered. We want them to report back. Sir, Jane said, looking at her readings in amazement. Our shields are at 89%, their weapons barely scratched us. And we've gathered massive amounts of combat data, Mike added, grinning. The recordings show their energy patterns, shield frequencies, weapon characteristics, everything. Rick sat back in his chair, feeling both relief and worry. Set course for Earth, maximum speed. During the journey home, the AI continued analyzing the battle data. Captain, I must share something concerning. The ease of our victory suggests either these scouts were using outdated technology or what? Rick asked. Or this was another test. The Dominion may have deliberately sent an inferior force to evaluate our true capabilities. Jane looked up from her console. The AI might be right. These scouts seemed almost sacrificial. Great, Rick muttered. So our big victory might have been exactly what they wanted. Back on Earth, the news of the successful engagement spread quickly. President Ellen Martinez addressed the nation that evening. Today, the USS Liberation defended itself and gathered valuable intelligence about our potential enemies. This proves that our hybrid technology can protect us. But privately, in secure briefings, the mood was more cautious. General Sarah Williams, now commanding Earth's expanding defense fleet, studied the battle data with concern. "They let us win," she said to her advisors. "They wanted to see what we could do." "What's our next move?" asked Dr. Nancy Kim, the lead scientist on ongoing hybrid technology development. "We accelerate everything," Sarah decided. "Build more ships, improve our defenses, and prepare for the real attack. Because if this was just a test, the actual Dominion fleet will be far more dangerous." Miles above, space telescopes detected more signatures at the edge of the solar system. The Dominion was mobilizing, and now they knew exactly what Earth was capable of. The Liberation returned home to a hero's welcome, but Captain Rick Johnson knew this was just the beginning. The hybrid technology had proven itself in battle, which meant the real war was about to start. In deep space, Zix received reports of the encounter through hidden channels. He sent a coded message to Earth. "Congratulations on your victory. Now, prepare for your real test. The Dominion has seen enough. They're coming." President Ellen Martinez stood before the United Nations, her voice steady despite the enormous pressure. The room was packed with delegates from every nation, all waiting to hear Earth's response to the Dominion threat. "Today, we face our greatest challenge as a species," she began. "The Dominion fleet will arrive in 30 days, but we are not standing alone." The massive screens behind her lit up, showing images from around the globe. Shipyards worked around the clock, constructing vessels. Using the hybrid technology, the Liberation was no longer alone. Earth now had 12 hybrid warships ready for battle. Admiral Carl Wright, commanding the defense fleet from his flagship, watched the address from orbit. He had spent weeks coordinating with other species, who had contacted Earth after humanity's battle with the Scouts. "Sir, incoming transmission from the Vortari delegation," his communications officer announced. "Put them through." A reptilian alien appeared on screen. "Admiral Wright, our ships are in position. The Free Worlds Alliance stands ready." Carl nodded. "Thank you, Commander. Your support means everything." The Alliance had formed quickly. Species that had been suppressed by the Dominion for centuries saw Earth's success as an opportunity. The Vortari brought their energy weapons. The Crixians offered advanced sensors. The Moranti had heavy armor plating. Together with hybrid technology, they had created an unprecedented coalition. Dr. Nancy Kim worked frantically in her laboratory, perfecting the final hybrid systems. Her team had discovered that alien technology responded even better when guided by human creativity, rather than copied exactly. "Doctor, the quantum shields are testing at 200% efficiency," her assistant reported. "Excellent. Install them on all ships immediately." "And the adaptive weapons?" "All calibrated. The AI systems have learned to modify energy patterns in real time during combat." Nancy smiled. The scrap the Zephyrians had given them had become humanity's greatest advantage. The Bridge of the Liberation, Captain Rick Johnson reviewed final preparations. The ship's AI had evolved significantly since their first battle. "Captain," the AI said, "I've completed analysis of all available Dominion combat data. I believe we can predict their attack patterns." "Show me," Rick replied. Holographic displays appeared showing fleet movements and strategies. The Dominion favors overwhelming force followed by systematic elimination of resistance. However, their tactical flexibility is limited by their rigid command structure. "And our advantage?" Rick asked. "Adaptability. Our hybrid systems can modify strategy in real time. Plus, the Alliance brings diversity they haven't faced before." The warning came exactly when Zix had predicted. Long-range sensors detected massive energy signatures approaching the solar system. The Dominion had arrived. President Martinez's voice echoed through every ship in the defense fleet. "To all personnel, this is not just a battle for Earth. This is a battle for the right of species everywhere to chart their own course among the way. Stars, stand firm." The enemy fleet was enormous. Hundreds of massive warships emerged from hyperspace, their dark hulls bristling with weapons. They moved in perfect formation, a testament to the Dominion's military might. "All ships," Admiral Wright broadcasted, "take positions according to the plan. Liberation Team, you're our spearhead. Show them what human innovation can do." The first exchange of fire lit up space like a deadly fireworks display. Dominion weapons, refined over millennia, struck hard against the Alliance's defensive positions. But the hybrid shields held, adapting to each attack pattern. "Target the coordination ships," Rick ordered from the Liberation's bridge. Jane analyzed their command structure. Commander Jane Foster worked rapidly. "Found them. 3 ships in the center are coordinating all attacks. If we can disrupt their communications..." "Mike, you heard her," Rick said to Lieutenant Mike Davis. Concentrated fire on those ships. The Liberation's weapons, enhanced by hybrid technology, proved devastatingly effective. Energy beams that shifted frequency mid-flight bypassed Dominion shields. Missiles that learned from each impact became more accurate. But the Dominion adapted too. Their ships began to spread out, changing tactics. The battle became a deadly chess match in 3 dimensions. "Captain," the AI announced, "I detect concern among Dominion commanders. Our unpredictability is disrupting their decision-making process." "Push harder," Rick decided. "Order all ships to implement random attack patterns. Let's keep them guessing." The battle raged for hours. Ships on both sides took heavy damage. The Alliance lost vessels, but Dominion ships fell in greater numbers. The hybrid technology continued to prove its worth, but it was the cooperation between different species that truly made the difference. Finally, the tide turned. The Zephyrians, who had been neutral until now, arrived with their fleet and joined the Alliance. "This is Overseer Crix," came the transmission. "We choose freedom over stagnation. The old ways end today." The Dominion's rigid command structure cracked under the pressure of facing multiple innovative technologies working together. Their fleet, built for dominating less advanced species, struggled against the creative chaos of the Alliance. As the last Dominion ship retreated into hyperspace, a tired but triumphant cheer echoed through the Allied fleet. President Martinez addressed both Earth and the galaxy. "Today, we proved that innovation and cooperation triumph over control and domination." The Dominion claimed they maintained order, but true order comes from freedom to grow and change. In the weeks that followed, the galaxy transformed. Species that had hidden their innovations for fear of the Dominion began sharing technology openly. Research stations replaced military outposts. Trade routes expanded. The Liberation became a symbol of this new era. Its hybrid technology represented the power of combining different approaches rather than following a single path. Dr. Nancy Kim received delegations from across the galaxy, all interested in the Scrap to Strength program. "The key," she explained, "is not to copy what already exists, but to use it as a foundation for something entirely new." Admiral Wright, now commander of the Allied Defense Force, looked out at the construction of new hybrid ships representing dozens of species. "What started as a test of our worthiness became a revolution in how we think about technology and cooperation." Captain Rick Johnson, still commanding the Liberation, often spoke with the ship's AI. "You know," he said one day, "we never properly thanked the Zephyrians for their gift." "Perhaps," the AI replied thoughtfully. "The best thanks is what we've built together. We took their challenge and created something they never imagined possible." Years later, historians would record this period as the transformation of galactic civilization. What had started with alien scrap dumped on humanity's moon had become a new age of cooperation and innovation. Earth had not just survived the Dominion's challenge, they had forged a warship that changed history. More importantly, they had proven that one civilization's discarded technology could become the foundation for a better future when approached with creativity, determination, and unity. The stars themselves seemed brighter now, filled with the promise of what species could achieve when they worked together rather than fearing each other. And at the heart of it all was a simple truth. Sometimes the greatest innovations come not from starting fresh, but from seeing potential where others see only scrap.